Xerox, you're using the Xerox as a tool, and the Xerox has taken your object, which is a three-dimensional object that you can touch and that has sides, maybe even a top and bottom. It has direction. You've taken this and you've placed it on an eye, a mechanical tool that is basically an eye. And you have made a Xerox copy, so you have flattened your object. So whatever your object was, and some people use some great objects, whatever your object was, you know that that's an object. You had it in your hand. The copy machine acted as a tool to flatten it for you. But if you look at your Xerox copies, you'll notice that number one, they have dimension. Why do they have dimension? Because they have a certain kind of shadow that was created by the light. Where your object maybe wasn't even sitting, there's a shadow. Where your object was straight up on that copy machine and the light bounced off it, your Xerox copy showed white, right? So this is a great way to understand depth and the illusion, how to create the illusion of depth when working in a two-dimensional space. Art is all about light, guys, and that light from Xerox is so important. The other thing that we notice is that composition is quite key when you are creating something on a page. The composition of your object, if you placed it in the middle, I'll just tell you now, I hate a center placement unless it's really necessary and you argue for it and you argue with me about it. If you walk away with class thinking anything, it's don't put an object in the middle unless you really mean to and you can argue why. We want our eyes to go around the page. We want our eyes to go off the page, which is called the out of frame. We want to be drawn through the picture plane, whether it's an advertisement or an invitation or a fine art painting, really whether it's anything. Your eye, you want to draw the eye around or up or in some sort of direction, and straight to the center just speaks about straight to the center, and everything else is superfluous. So sometimes that can be good design, but not that often. Not that often. When it's very well used. So anyway, so back to the Xeroxes. So you were supposed to then draw your Xerox. I'm not expecting perfection. I'm expecting you to be able to then look at that Xerox and look at your sketchbook and see how hard it is to really get down that illusion, because that's what our computer tools of Photoshop and InDesign and Illustrator are all allowing us to do without, just clicking a button. But who cares if you can click a button if you don't really understand how you would do that yourself? And once you get that mind muscle memory of how to create these shadows and where the light would fall and how interesting that is, then you can use that as a tool and you can push and pull flat space, which is pure graphic design, and illusionistic space, which is more art and artistic. I don't want you to take me literally and don't think graphic design is art. Of course it is, but I'm just saying that historically, graphic design, we're talking about pressing or mass producing. We're talking about striking images, and that's really important. Illusionistic space is something that's a tool. So this week what you're going to do is you're going to scale up your object on the copy machine. I've written very specific directions for you, and I want you to do those. Then I want you to look at the one that you find the most interesting and go ahead and draw that one in your notebook, okay? So that's it for this week, and I'm sorry it's in 2 videos again. I get a little carried away. But next week I'm going to post, either next week or the week after, I will post some photographs of my students' work that we talked about in class, their drawings, and you'll be able to see that other people are struggling as you are, and other people are coming out the other side and winning, just as I hope you are. So have a good week, and I will talk to you soon.